Hi friends, today we're going to talk about alternate interior, alternate exterior, and corresponding angles. If you want to follow along in your book, we're on page 32 of book 2B. That's chapter 6. And let's jump right in. So our 4 vocabulary words for today are alternate interior, alternate exterior, and corresponding angles, and transversal. So these 3 are the types of angles formed by 2 parallel lines and a transversal. So you can see here that AB and CD are parallel. You can tell from this little arrow here, remember we covered that before? You can mark that, you could write that as line AB is parallel to line CD. That's a way that you could write that. So you're going to want to recreate this in your math journal to follow along. So you can go ahead and pause the video and get that going. Okay, so we are going to work through page 32 and 33, and then I'm going to let you jump into the math journal task based on what we do here. So, you see that we have 2 parallel lines, line AB and line CD. We have a transversal, that's line PQ, and line PQ intersects AB and CD. So that's what it's doing here, you can see there. Now, in that intersection, it creates a whole bunch of angles. Now, some of them are alternate interior, some of them are alternate exterior, and some of them are corresponding. So I'm going to move to page 33 now, if you're following along in your book. Now, so 3 and 4, let's grab a 4 in there. 4. Bad pen. 3 and 4 are, as it says in your book there, alternate interior angles. No, I'm sorry, that's not right. Not 3 and 4, 3 and 5. Now let's talk about that. As you can see that 3 and 1 must have the same measurement, right? Because they are like the same thing on opposite sides of this line. So if 3 plus 4 has to equal 180, and 1 plus 2 has to equal 180, 3 and 1 are going to be the same amount, just based on where this line falls on there. And so that also means that because 5 and 1 are also going to be the same, I've shown that in the color here. You can see why, because they're going to fall in the same direction with the same angle, because these 2 are parallel. And so 1 and 5 are the same, and 3 and 1 are the same. That means that 3 and 5 are the same. Now you can tell that they are alternate. That means that they are alternating, they're going back and forth. And interior, that's on the inside, right? And so 3 and 5 are like, they could alternate for each other, and they're on the inside of this figure here. So 3 and 5, alternate interior angles. Can you find another? Yeah, that's right. Maybe you see it. 4, well, it can't be 2, right? Because 2 is not on the inside, which would be interior. But there is another angle that is the same measure as 4 that's on the inside, and that is this one right here, 6, which is the same measure as 2 up here. So if 6 and 4 are the same, that makes them alternate. And they're both on the interior, so they are alternate interior angles. Okay, so now let's go ahead and look at some alternate exterior angles. That's going to be on the outside of the line, not the inside, but the outside. So I'm only looking at 1, 2, 7, and 8 here. So what are some alternates, do you think? Do you see what's going to have to be the same? It's going to have to be, well, what do you see? 1 and 7? 1 and 7, those are going to be the same, right? So 1 and 7 are going to be alternate exterior angles. And what's the other one got to be? Well, it looks to me like it has to be 2 and 8. They're on the outside, they are exterior, and they are alternating angles. Okay, so the last part is corresponding angles. So now this is where I've actually set up the colors the way that they have in the book. And what we see here is that 1 and 5 are corresponding angles. Can you see why they are? It's like they're the same, they occupy the same portion of angle on this portion of the CD line and this portion of the AB line. You see that? That they correspond? Okay, so I want you to jump in to page 34 where you're going to do your hands-on activity. You're going to recreate this, you're going to fill out your table, and you're going to do a little writing about it. Okay guys, have a great time.